world. This is the Fan and Fanatic Podcast. I'm Parker Gerlecki, aka the Fan and Fanatic, and with me as always is my broadcast partner,
Dad,
aka Ryan Gerlecki. I've got a passion for all things sports. So, on the Fan and Fanatic Podcast, we'll talk to anyone and everyone from all over the world of sports who will sit still long enough to answer my questions.
that's right. Now, as a result of complications from severe brain damage at birth, unfortunately, Parker will never be able to physically play sports, but that cannot and has never stopped him from loving everything about sports and dreaming of a career in broadcasting. So each of our guests graciously gives of their time on this podcast to invest in Parker's dream and to help him be part of the sports world he loves so dearly.
Now, let's play ball! What's up, fanatics? Welcome back to the Fan and Fanatic Podcast. I'm your host, Parker Gerlecki, along with
Co-host, Dad Gerlecki.
also known as Ryan. Today
AKA.
on the podcast, we feature we feature a cool we feature one of my very good friends who also happens to work for the St. Louis Cardinals, Mr. Charles Chuck Martin.
Hey, everybody.
So, Mr. Martin, were you with the team when David Freese? Oh, sorry. Hold on, Mr. Martin.
Yes,
Where were you born?
I was born just south of Chicago.
Where'd you go to college?
So I started out at the University of Tennessee, and then I transferred to a little college called Milligan.
Oh, sorry. Before that, where'd you go to high school, my man?
I was in a town called Joliet. So I was a baseball, football, basketball player there.
What was the name of the school?
Jo-
I assume Joliet High.
Yep.
So, were you with the team? How do we know each other?
Your brother and my son play basketball together and go to school together and are best friends.
Will you let the listeners know why I have you on my podcast and what you do that's linked to the sports world?
Yeah, sure. So I've been a professional pitching coach for the last 20 plus years. And recently my daughter developed a brain tumor. So I retired from the professional ranks, and now I do things on my own. I work with pro guys. I work with college guys. I work with a lot of the top high school arms that are getting ready for the draft. And I just kind of do my own thing.
So you're not with the. So I believe you're like what caught my attention with you is that you worked with the St. Louis Cardinals. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Back in the day.
Were you there when David Freese hit that that base hit to tie the game in the World Series that like a few years back?
The triple to tie the game. It was probably the loudest noise I've ever heard in person.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. Like,
oh yeah,
when it banged off the wall, like the guy tried to field it, but it banged off the wall, and then two people scored. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
How crazy was that?
It was, like I said, it was the loudest I've ever heard a stadium. And I jumped probably, I'm not the most athletic guy anymore, but I probably jumped a little higher than I should have at that point.
Chuck, were you with the team then? Or were you?
I was actually
Okay,
up in
great.
a booth though.
Oh, wow.
Funny story. So the booth next to me, there was a nun that was there that was probably in her early 80s, maybe, and big Cardinal fan. She's there all the time. And when David hit that, she actually stood up and jumped out of her seat. And it was that exciting to see and to feel and to hear. And then when he hit the home run, I joked with him. I didn't see him again really till the next spring, but I joked with him in the spring. I said, "You gave me 15 of the happiest minutes of my life up to that point." And he looked me dead in the eye and he said, "It was pretty good for me too." So
if I remember,
that's pretty good.
If I remember correctly, it was Joe Buck and Smoltzy calling that game on Fox, right? Smoltzy was John Smoltz.
You know what?
Was that
That
was?
might be true. I don't remember, since I was there, I don't remember watching on TV. I'm
Oh,
sure it
yeah,
was
yeah.
Joe doing the game.
I mean, of
Yeah.
course, they don't call him Mr. Fox Baseball
That's
for
right.
nothing.
And I remember his call in seeing replays whenever he says, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
When-
yeah. We'll see you in.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. That was Game 6,
Yeah,
right?
it was Game 6. Yep.
I mean, yeah. So,
We had a less enjoyable but equally memorable moment with the Cardinals as Braves fans several years back,
Yeah.
pre-pandemic, when I got to the game a little bit late in like the first inning, and we were already losing 11-0.
yeah, that was
like
that was Goldie, Ari, and the boys, right? Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, and the boys.
I don't think Nolan was on that team yet. I think it was Goldie. Goldie
for
was
sure.
there. I don't think Nolan was there because Fulte was still with the Braves because he had pitched.
Fultonevich.
Yeah, because he had pitched a really good game in the first game, and then they tried to bring him back in Game 5. And one of the funny things about that first inning was, I think we scored 11 runs, like you said, but we had no home runs. And I don't know that we had any like hard barrel contact. We just continued to find holes, and just everything that could go wrong went wrong. I think I might be wrong about this, but I think Freddie might have made an error, and Freddie hardly ever makes errors.
Were you with the Cardinals in wait, you said you grew up in Chicago, right?
I did.
Nope. So can I give you a funny story actually?
I'd love to hear.
So 2015, I don't know if mother or father has brought this up, but like Father, did you tell Mr. Martin about what I did in 2015? About
it's possible.
Ace Hardware and the All-Star.
Why don't you tell him?
Anyhow, so in 2015 I was voted Ace Hardware's like All-Star, so like I would represent the stores, and I was invited to Chicago, and I went to a White Sox game, and it just so happened that they were playing the Cardinals in that game. I can't exactly remember what the final score was, but I bet I
was there.
I think the Cardinals won that game, and guess what? Like there were, the two most famous words in baseball. The one that gets the game started.
Yes.
Play ball. I was the guy that said that.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Parker was the kid on the field.
I'll have to go back and check. Was that possibly the year that Stephen Piscotty was a rookie?
Mom, Google that.
Because I was
Dad, pull up Stephen Piscotty.
If he might have been a rookie in 2015, and if he was, I was at that game and heard you say it. I was at that series.
Yes. What?
I'm looking it up now, Parker.
So question. I know that nowadays MLB has a balanced schedule, but when you were with the Cardinals, did you across the however how long were you with the team, the Cardinals?
Off and on for 20 plus years.
So in those 20 years, did you get to visit all the MLB stadiums?
Sadly, there's some newer stadiums. There are a few stadiums I haven't been to. Now, I didn't.
Which one?
I didn't travel on the road.
What stadiums have you not been to yet?
I didn't travel on the road all the time with the big club. My role was much more to work with the players, and so I wasn't on every road trip or anything like that. So stadiums that I haven't been to. All right. So this is a good question. I haven't been to Safeco, which is Seattle.
I think they've renamed that now. I think it's T-Mobile Park.
I think you're right. I haven't been to. I've been to Coors. I haven't been to the new Rangers Park.
Oh yeah, that's a good looking stadium.
Yeah,
I haven't been there, but I've seen it. I want to go so bad. That's a pretty well done. You know what we say? Everything's bigger in Texas.
That's right. And I feel bad because now I'm helping out with the Rangers scout team, because I'm working with a lot of the high school arms in the area and guys that want to work, and so I help with the Rangers travel scout team.
And sorry, that wasn't my sorry. And then my actual question about stadiums:
Okay.
what stadium was your favorite? Like, of all the stadiums you've been to, which one is your favorite?
Well, I would say
other than Busch Stadium,
All
of
right.
course, because that would so no favoritism.
All right. Well,
I'll rephrase my question. Out of all the stadiums you've traveled to on the road, like, what was your favorite?
Well, I think PNC is probably my favorite. I love walking.
Oh yeah,
walking
the
across
Allegheny
the bridge,
River, right? Isn't the Allegheny River like
right there?
Like
So you actually
and
from the team hotel, you walk across the bridge. Now you can take a bus, but it's such a nice walk. You can walk across the bridge into the stadium, and it's such a cool walk to do and to walk up with all the fans and whatnot. And it's the one of only 4 stadiums that I've hit the ball out of. So as a pitcher, I don't get to hit very often. But I bet some of my friends.
Yeah, because didn't you play? You played pro ball, right?
I did. I was not very good, so I didn't play very long.
What teams did you play pro ball for?
Johnson City Cardinals, Springfield Cardinals. So
did you make it? Did you ever make it to the majors?
No. Unfortunately.
Okay, here's.
Well, Parker, let me follow up on something. So, Piscotty's major league debut was July 21st, 2015.
That's what I thought. Where at?
That I don't have.
Will you look that up?
I believe.
Sorry about the background noise.
Right.
That's my puppy. He's very good at barking. Can't you tell? I
can tell. So 2015, when you were there with the White Sox doing your thing, I was actually at the game because I remember that one specifically because I had a discussion with Steven. He was just recently called up, and wonderful young man, and I believe he got his first major league hit.
Did you?
It was at against the Chicago White Sox in an 8-5 win.
There you go.
Wait, Dad. Do you remember the date of which I said play ball?
I'm gonna go with July 21st, 2015.
Sorry. So one of the other questions I've had, like Mother was pointing out to me, was so there are a lot of great players in baseball, but who do you think is the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the creme de la creme, the Muhammad Ali of baseball?
Well, I think that one's a harder question to answer because baseball is the ultimate team sport. Muhammad Ali or Michael Jordan or guys that can impact a game on every level.
But who do you think is the GOAT of baseball in your honest opinion?
The greatest player that I've ever been around is Albert Pujols.
Oh yeah,
What about as a Parker? What about as a pitching coach?
Doesn't Albert Pujols have a nickname?
El Hombre.
I can't exactly. What?
El Hombre.
El Hombre, the man, right? No, the brother.
The man. Hombre.
Yes, the man.
The reason is because the man, Stan the Man, was the most decorated Cardinal and one of the probably top 10 players of all time.
Stan who now?
Stan Musial.
Stan Musial. Okay.
And then so when Albert came along, they wanted to make him the man, but the Spanish version, and so he got the name El Hombre. So, how
about Parker? How about the greatest pitcher since Chuck is a pitching coach?
So, what about the greatest pitcher in your honest opinion?
Well, I tell you, the most talented pitcher that I have ever seen.
Oh wait, I'm gonna. Can I take a guess who I think you're going to say?
Go for it.
Shohei Ohtani. That guy because he is a stud.
He is a stud. He's what I call a unicorn, right? He doesn't exist outside of himself.
Question.
Yes.
Would an all-around player would you classify Shohei Ohtani as an all-around player, like pitching and batting at the same, like that he's good at both of those things? Is that what an all-around player would be?
I think that's more of a two-way player. An all-around player is somebody who's good at all the facets of
so he's two-way. So he's two-way talent?
Yes. He is the two-way talent.
Yes, the two-way talent.
Right. So back,
All right, back to the
yeah, back
original
to the
question,
question. So I'll
Parker.
say the most talented pitcher that I've ever worked with and been around is a young man named Rick Ankiel, and he was a Cardinals first rounder out of high school out of Florida. Fascinating story. And he was, I've never seen anybody that, he was 97, 98. He was left-handed. He had a curveball that was amazing, a changeup that was great. And then he had some anxiety issues and he couldn't throw a strike anymore. And
So what was your? Oh, sorry.
and
Go
he
ahead.
came back as a hitter. And he actually played for the Braves. And I think he might even have hit 20 home runs one year for the Braves. So he was kind of Shohei before Shohei.
So what was your favorite sports moment that you've witnessed?
That I've witnessed.
Your favorite memory as your favorite sports memory playing.
But obviously, David Freese comes to mind.
Of course.
I'll tell you,
as a player, though, your favorite memory as a player.
When I was playing, I pitched a game against for Tennessee against Mississippi State, and I threw a one-hitter. And
wait, you played college ball at Tennessee? Oh, wait, can I tell you a really funny story? Like, so Tennessee plays at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, and when I heard that, I'm like, who would name a baseball stadium after a woman?
You had to look up Lindsey Nelson, didn't you?
And another question: minor league baseball is probably the most probably some of the most the most humorous and funny of nickname, the most humorous nicknames in all of sports. So who do you think is the funniest minor league baseball team name in all of sports?
Oh gosh, I mean the Savannah Bananas are pretty good, right?
Yeah,
the way they do things.
The Savannah Bananas, the Modesto Nuts, and yes, those are.
Yep, I think there a yard? I think there's a Yard Barkers out
there. Oh yeah, the Hadford Yad Goats. The Yad Goats.
That's right. So, I'll tell you, minor league baseball. I'll tell you. You want to hear a funny story? So,
fire.
Back in the day when I played, I think we made $600 a month, which is not a lot of money. And even back in those days. So what we would do, and we didn't have team managers that washed our clothes and stuff for us like they do now. So we would sit out in the bullpen and we'd put a styrofoam cup because everybody wanted a baseball game or wanted a ball when they came to a baseball game. And we would tell them if they could throw a quarter into the styrofoam cup, they could get a ball. And
go ahead. Sorry.
And that became the way we got quarters to do our laundry because we were so broke.
Question, Mr. Martin.
Yes.
You know, like in the NFL, you get fined if you after you score a touchdown and you hand the ball to a fan.
Yes.
Does MLB get fined for when fans ball hawk, or is ball hawking totally okay?
It's okay. It can be annoying. But yes, it's
so ball hawk, they don't fine.
They do not fine.
Because ball hawking is basically just like any baseball fan would do.
Yes.
Speaking of ball hawking, you know how you're the ultimate dad ball hawk?
All right.
If you can catch a ball in one hand while holding your small child in the other hand.
That's right.
And I'll explain why do you mind? I hope I'm not eating up on your time.
No, you're okay.
But I'll explain why I said what I said. So me and my grandfather and I, we went to we were in Auburn for their, my family. Oh, sorry. My mom's whole side of the family are Auburn fans. Has she told you that?
Nope.
Anyhow, so they have season ticket holders, and every year around in the spring, college football, they have their spring games, which is kind of like their last spring practice before fall practice starts. Anyway, that Friday night, Auburn had a series against Texas A&M, and the game they were supposed to play Friday and Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but the Saturday game, it was supposed to be crummy on Saturday, so they moved the Saturday game to Friday. Anywho, so me and my grandfather went to watch some of that game, and a fan, like, so, and like here, so the ultimate dad ball hawking moment. So a ball like drifted right to where we were, and the person who caught it was caught it in one hand while holding a baby in the other hand.
Yeah, I've seen some of those videos when it happens in the major league parks, and I tell you, it always blows my mind to see dads that are that coordinated and athletic. I can tell you, I'm not.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm not that.
Have you ever? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm not that coordinated and athletic, so I'll let the other people try to do that. But back to your Auburn for a second. I'm sending one of my pitchers is going to be a freshman there starting in the fall. His name is Drew Sofield, and he's a left-hander, and he's going to go to Auburn, and he's super excited to pitch for Coach Davis and Coach Nunamaker. And
I met Coach Nunamaker.
Yeah, I've gotten to meet and become friendly with that staff, and I'm excited to see how Drew does when he goes there. So you'll have to take care of him when you go there, and tell him you're with Coach Chuck, and he'll take care of you.
Yes, sir.
Parker, I think you met Drew at one of Chase and Jackson's basketball games.
Hold on, wait. I was. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Oh, it's gonna knot me if I forget this question. Hold on. Wait. What is your greatest sports moment of all time?
Like
that you've seen?
That I've seen. I tell you, I watched Phil Mickelson make a charge on the back nine at the Masters for his first green jacket, his first major, and that was an amazing thing to watch, to be there, to be a part of, to hear the crowds, to watch him do that and it was also my first Masters. So it was.
I remember what I was going to ask. Are you familiar with the shoey?
The shoey.
You know, like when a fan puts their beer in their shoe and then chugs it?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Man, sports fans are crazy.
Tell me all about that one, Parker.
So basically all you do...
There's no story about your family on that.
I want to get to the bottom of that one.
You just got to get a cup of beer and a shoe, put the beer in the shoe, and then chug it.
Right. Well, I'm not.
Chuck, I can promise you, he's not speaking from experience at home. He has never seen me do that.
I do not drink beer. I respect. Like I'm a good rule follower. Coach, like if I can't be 21 to drink, if I'm not 21, don't drink. I don't drink.
Coach Chuck is not a foot guy, so I would not be putting anything in a shoe and drinking it. So I hate feet.
And didn't you say? I don't know if we like one of my other things like. Didn't you say that one of your kids was upset that they couldn't see Fredbird that one time?
So we were in St. Louis, and so I've got a daughter who's 18 and a son who's 14 now, and you got Jack.
Oh wait, was it that was Joey that was upset?
No,
right?
no, Joey got to go out and throw out the first pitch.
But Jackson was upset
was so small. I think he was 4 at the time, and so Joey was 8 or 9, and. Mm-hmm. I thought Jackson was going to be really mad he didn't get to go out and throw out the first pitch. And lo and behold, he was crying. And I went over.
But not because of that.
And I went over and I said, "Hey, little man, when you get a little bit older, you'll get to throw out a first pitch too." And he said, "Dad, I just wanted to see Fredbird," because Fredbird had gone out with Joey to the mound and had hugged her, and then he got busy and forgot to hug Jackson when he came by. But he got real quick. He got back at Joey because Jackson and I went, and Ozzie Smith was catching. It was Bob Costas night. He had just been inducted into the Hall of Fame for sportscasters, and so in talking, Jackson got to meet Bob Costas and Ozzie Smith and everybody. And Ozzie said, "Does anybody have a glove? Because I forgot to bring my glove to catch the first pitch." And Jackson had his baseball mitt with him. And he said, "Mr. Smith, I've got my mitt." And Ozzie said, "Do you mind if I use it?" He said, "No." And so he went and caught the first pitch of the game. Ozzie Smith caught a short hop in Jackson's glove and then signed it and gave it back to Jackson. And Jackson framed it that Ozzie used his mitt to catch a first pitch.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Would you by any chance so I know that we did this via Calendly. Will you share the Calendly link with like people that you might know that are like in the sports world, like the Calendly to sign up to be on an episode or two?
You know what?
Like we'll talk offline.
Yeah, offline we'll talk. I'll try to give you some names of some people that you might be interested in talking to.
All right. We also share this with those people. So like tell them that they're totally welcome to be on my podcast.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
You got it.
All right, fanatics, that's a wrap. See y'all next time. Bye. All right, fanatics, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Fan and Fanatic. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for all of your support. Don't forget to follow or subscribe, or whatever your podcast app says to do, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For my broadcast partner, Ryan Grelecki, this is Parker Grelecki saying, Game, Set, Match!